What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, once again, we've got some career mode heading your way, and today we're tackling the Spanish Grand Prix. Should be a pretty interesting round. The track naturally should suit the car. There is a lot of high-speed, twisty turns, so fingers crossed there can be a massive turnaround for our season in terms of our performance. Now, heading into this race, unfortunately, I was an idiot, and unfortunately, I lost my game sound. So I'm going to have to supplement my own game sounds in, and why not replace our McLaren V6 with a V10 Ferrari? Because why not? That is the goals that I want to work this McLaren towards. But in terms of the overall weekend, we absolutely smashed through Friday practice, got almost perfect on everything apart from like qualifying pace. We weren't quite up to standard there. We were running with quite an old power units, but we got through that fairly well. So here we are now for qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix. I'm hoping in this qualifying session, maybe, just maybe, we could get ourselves out to qualifying one, considering this is possibly a track that might go our way in terms of, I don't know, favourable results. But so far, we're, you know, there or thereabouts, sitting in P16 at the moment. Yes, we're not dead last, but we are looking slightly more competitive than what we normally do. But carrying on for our second lap there, trying to push on as much as what I possibly can, just throwing tyre sets at this qualifying session, just seeing how far we can drag this McLaren Honda up the grid, across the line, and we improve by almost 5 tenths and only 18th place. I really drive the nuts off of this car, and to only be in 18th place is pretty darn depressing. Final run at the end of the session, I was massively overdriving because I knew I had to give it everything to move up even more on the time that I set, and we completely screwed up that lap. So that was the qualifying session. 18th place, still behind Fernando Alonso, so I still have a lot of work to do, both on my driving style and just making sure that I, you know, get the most out of the car. So pretty unfortunate. It's 18th place. We're going to move on to the race now, where I'm hearing whispers that it's going to be a wet race. So if you guys saw the last episode in the Russian Grand Prix, then you guys will know that this car performed, I don't know, fairly well in those changeable conditions. I think this car really gets off of corners really nicely and smoothly. It might just be down to the lack of power that this McLaren Honda has versus the other cars. It almost seems like some kind of traction control. But here we are on the grid of the Spanish Grand Prix. We've decided to downgrade from the V10 sounds, and we're going to give this car something a little more fitting for the race, given how terrible that qualifying session was.
Drivers, start your engine!
There she is. Doesn't she sound beautiful? The old Honda lawnmower is ready to go for this Spanish Grand Prix. Like I said, we have a wet race upon us, and it always seems like we do well when the conditions are just a little bit more tricky than what they normally are. So hopefully that can play into our favor today. We're getting ready for the start of this race now. 5 red lights, and away we go for this Spanish Grand Prix. Looks like a nice start actually versus Fernando Alonso, who is the starting master in Formula 1. We draw alongside heading into turn 1. Let's see if we can get him and move our way up the grid. Jolene Palmer is up next. We squeeze up the inside of him, and that is us up into P16. If you listen very carefully, yes, you'll hear the rush music, but even if you listen even more carefully than that, you might hear the lawnmower just continuing to power up the hill as we try and find a way around the Toro Rossos. So fairly decent start, P16 at the moment. It's not over yet as we get a double overtake into the right-hander, and that is just 4 places away now from a point finishing position. Sliding up the inside now, I think is Romain Grosjean, and it's very tight through there. Pretty much 3 wide between us and one of the Renaults, and I think we get them both there and move ourselves into 12th place. Yes, we do. The move isn't quite done yet, as I think that's Nico Hulkenberg trying to hang around the outside. Doesn't quite make it stick there, and there we go. We've got it. Just continuing to move forward places at the beginning of this Grand Prix. And there we go. What a start that has been. 6 places off of the start. we are turning into the Fernando Alonso of F1 2017 when it comes to wet starts, at least. This thing is just amazing when it comes to tricky conditions. But there you go, you can hear the McLaren Honda, you know, flying in top gear with that lawnmower sounds. It's absolutely beautiful. But either way, we're carrying on. I'm sorry about the lack of game sounds. It's really thrown me off my game for this video. You know, I miss a lot of editing cues, and I use a lot of like game audio for the engineer and stuff, and I just don't have that at my disposal for this video, so I massively apologize. That will be fixed up for the next video. But we're defending now from Nico Hulkenberg, who got a really nice run off of the final corner here on lap 11. Yes, we've cut that far into the Grand Prix at this stage, mainly because we've just been holding station. We've been trying to grind away to get in front of the guys in front, but we just don't have that much pace over them. We're pretty much level footing with everyone around us, so it's a bit of a stalemate, which is actually quite good because we're actually holding pace with everyone in the midfield. But Fernando Alonso has dived into the pits. The recommended strategy today was a one-stop. There's a Ferrari who is off the track. That's Sebastian Vettel, who is, I don't know, stopped. So he's going again, and then he stopped again. I'm not too sure what the deal is there, and the engineer actually told me in-game chat that there was a potential issue with Lewis Hamilton as well. So I'm guessing those two guys came together in the run into turn 1, but they both look like they're going to carry on in the Grand Prix. So getting back to the race strategy, we're going to be forced onto a one-stop now. I've decided that the one-stop is probably the better way to go in terms of getting a points finish today. Sebastian Vettel actually just overtook us. He managed to get going again, and it didn't find him much time at all to find his pace once again. But lap 15, almost halfway through the Grand Prix, we're going to be coming into the pits now and fitting on another set of the intermediate tyres. It looks like the rain is going to hold out for the rest of this Grand Prix. You don't get these races all too often when it comes to intermediate. It either goes heavier or it goes lighter and it just dries out. But we seem to be having very stable conditions at this stage, which is actually quite interesting. Pit stop time, not too bad. Was a 2.6 second pit stop, so fairly solid, and we rejoined behind the Toro Rossos. So in all honesty, we really didn't lose too much ground to the guys around us who got like a 5-lap undercut on us. So I think we're in a pretty good position in this race, as there's a yellow flag through the middle sector. Basically, everyone else is going to be two-stopping, and we're just going to bring this home on the one-stop. Our tyres are going to be pretty dead towards the end. That's Valtteri Bottas out of the Grand Prix. He's actually got a puncture, rushing to get back into the pits, and, well, he's paid the ultimate price there. As you can see on the onboard, that front right tyre is flapping absolutely everywhere, and that is a massive fail for the guy who is second in the driver's standings. That is a massive blow for his championship aspirations. I mean, his championship is probably already over, given how many races Kimi Räikkönen has won so far in this 2017 season. Just 5 races in, it's outrageous. But either way, we're carrying on now. We're actually making some solid inroads on the guys in front. Sainz and Ocon looking fairly slow versus us, and in the last couple of laps we've really been closing the gap to those guys, and we lose the back end like mad through the final corner. That was not the kind of way I wanted to take that final corner, but either way, that really delayed proceedings for about a lap or two, and now we finally got close to them again. And then as soon as we go to shape up the move to overtake, they pull into the pit lane, and that is the end of that battle. So with 8 laps to go, we're sitting in P6, believe it or not. And everyone else around us has made their pit stops. The guys behind us are all going to start chasing me down. We've got the Williams of Felipe Massa just about 2 or 3 seconds back. So it's going to be awfully tough to keep him behind, given his straight line speed and how much pace that Williams has on this F1 2017 game. I think Codemasters have really overestimated how fast that Ferrari, not the Ferrari, the Williams is. Speaking of Ferrari, Ferrari is not going quick at all. That was Sebastian Vettel out of the Grand Prix. So it seems like for the front runners, there are lots of issues going on right now, and that is another free position for us in this Grand Prix. We now currently sit in P5, and that's absolutely amazing. For a McLaren Honda, if we finish as we are, we're going to get 10 points for the championship. That could basically secure us ahead of our championship rival, Fernando Alonso. already in the early part of the season, but I don't want to get ahead of myself too much. We still need to do the job. Massa is closing the gap ever so slightly as he continues to get closer and closer and closer. 3 laps to go, and the gap is literally, you know, half a second. It's literally nothing. As you can see on the onboard here, he gets very close on the run into turn 9 in the hairpin, and just look at how slow this is in the rain. The tyres as well are not faring all too well. 72% on the left rear. That one has really been punished over the course of this Grand Prix, and in the last 2 laps, I just really want to look after that left rear tyre by minimizing the wheel spin, using as high gears as what I possibly can, and just making sure that we don't get the car into a slide, which is, not going to lie, much easier said than done. It's so tricky to balance out the rear end in this car, especially when it's in tricky conditions like these ones in the rain. But final lap of the Grand Prix now. Massa is really putting us under a lot of pressure. The ever-looming threat of that left rear puncture is really starting to play on my mind now. I think Kimi Räikkönen has also won the Grand Prix as well. That is 5 in a row. Outrageous. The man needs to be stopped. But either way, through the final sector now, coming into the braking zone, we are getting dangerously close to the puncture territory. I'm not too sure if you can get random punctures from 70% tyre wear onwards. If not, it's definitely at 80%. So we are 1 percentile away from that danger zone. But as we get to the final sector now, this is all pretty academic, really. This is where we actually really thrive in this McLaren. We get a really nice exit all the time off of that final corner, and it really has eased the pressure for us today. But there we go. 5th place in the Spanish Grand Prix. That feels like a race win. There we go, guys. That has been the Spanish Grand Prix. What a race it was. 10 points for the championship. That is absolutely huge for this McLaren Honda. I don't even know if they've personally done that well in real life. I feel like Alonso got 6th in one of the races in the last year or two. But honestly, guys, that feels like such a massive turning point for this season. That really does ease the pressure for us in the bids of our, you know, rivalry with our teammates in terms of impressing other teams and just our overall standing within the position of the team and in the driver's standings. Just so crucial to get so many points so early on in the season when the car is really not performing. And man, that is such a massive relief to get that result in the end. Again, Kimi Räikkönen has won. That is 5 wins in a row. And if it wasn't already decided, I honestly think this championship is over. Kimi's got it in the bag. I mean, he's leading by like almost 2 race wins. We'll go to the driver's standings and we'll actually have a look at that. But yeah, it's just been an absolutely mental start to the season so far. In many ways, 2017 really has provided the goods. 49 points from Kimi Räikkönen to Lewis Hamilton. 5 races in, and he's already like basically 2 race meetings clear of the rest of the field. That is outrageous. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2017 videos. I just got to say, massive apology about the quality of this video. Like I said, the recording didn't capture the audio, so I got no game sounds, no engine sounds, no music, no nothing. So that really threw me off in terms of actually editing and putting together this video. I won't make that mistake again, and we should have game sound all fine for the next race, which is actually the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's probably our best chance to get another really solid result like we saw today. And if it even rains, then we might be in podium territory. We'll have to wait and see. We got very lucky today with all the retirements and just issues that the front runners had. But there we go. That is this race for today. 500 odd resource points. There won't be an upgrade coming as of yet, but maybe at the end of the next episode, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Your support on my career mode stuff has been incredible. 100k like views in a day on every single episode. It's been outstanding. Thank you guys so much, and I'm going to continue to reward you guys with daily career mode uploads. Watch as I say that I won't upload it tomorrow, but no, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.